Hey guys, go ahead and get your math notebook and label it at the top. Today's date is February 2nd. And we've got some math symbols up here that we have used before that we're going to be taking a look at today. What is this symbol called?
Greater than.
Less than. The little part is what we see first, so it's less than. What is this one? Greater than, because we see the big part first, and then equal to. This is like an alligator mouth. The alligator always wants to eat the bigger numbers. All right. So we're going to look at some scaling and multiplication, and it's just kind of a fancy way of saying that we're going to be comparing some numbers, resizing some numbers, using our greater than, less than, or equal to symbol. So let's dive right in, because it's all math that we've done before. We just now got to compare our numbers. So number one, write this in your math notebook, not just sitting. Number one. They want to know, in this box, am I going to use the greater than, less than, or equal symbol in this box? So now this side we have a what? What kind of number is this?
Mixed number.
A mixed number. This side though, we have a what?
Two mixed.
We have two mixed numbers.
Operation.
Operation, I like that word. We have an equation, right? So I have to decide if the solution of this equation is bigger, less than, or equal to this mixed number I have over here. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have already, while you're sitting, started solving this? A couple of you, right? Yeah. There's no need to solve this. When we're doing greater than, less than, or equal to, do I need an exact answer for this solution? No. I need to know, is this equation right here less than, the same size, or equal to this mixed number? What do you see as a similarity over here? 2 2/3. What do you see as a similarity over here, Bradley?
There's another 2 2/3.
Yeah, I have another 2 2/3. Okay, if I was looking at just those two mixed numbers, they would be equal, right?
Yes.
But this mixed number, I'm multiplying it by 3 1/2. Is that number 2 2/3 going to get bigger or smaller when I multiply it by 3 1/2?
Bigger.
Bigger. If it gets any bigger at all, what's it going to be compared to this number? Greater than. Do I need to know how much bigger it's going to be than that mixed number over there?
No.
No. I don't need an exact answer here. There's no reason then that I need to actually solve this. I know that it's going to make this mixed number bigger. Anything bigger than this one, then this side's going to be larger than. The alligator mouth wants to eat that number, that equation, I should say. All right, here we go, number 2. 4/5. This one's interesting and sometimes a little mind-blowing because, all right, over here I have a what? I have a mixed number, 1 1/3. Over here we have a what? We have an equation. And coincidentally, this equation also has what mixed number in it? 1 1/3. And I'm multiplying that number. Typically, when I multiply, my numbers get what? They typically get bigger. But look what I'm multiplying it by. 4/5. Is 4/5 even a whole number? It's less than a whole number, right? What's it going to do then to that mixed number? It's going to make it smaller. And I want to actually work this one out, not because you have to, because I want to show you when you multiply by something that's less than 1, I want to show you what it's going to do then. So let's multiply this out. 4/5 times 1 1/3. I need to turn that mixed number into an improper. So 3 times 1 plus 1. All right, I need to multiply across now. 4 times 4 is
16.
5 times 3 is, and now I need to simplify, right? 16 divided by 15 is, with how many left over? And my denominator stays the
Same.
So now I'm looking at 1 1/15. Is that greater than, less than, or equal to 1 1/3? Ladies and gentlemen, I know some people said greater than. This denominator is bigger than this denominator, right?
Yeah.
Does that make it bigger?
No.
Not in fractions. That makes it smaller. Because, think about, so they both have the same whole number, right? Yes. So we need to look at this fraction. Think about your pie. And this pie has 15 pieces. This is not exact, roughly though, this big, okay? And we only got one piece of that 15th. This pie over here though has how many pieces?
3.
And out of those 3 pieces, how many?
1.
So when I have that colored out, which slice is actually bigger?
The 1/3.
The 1 1/3, right? So don't go by, well, this denominator is bigger, so that number is bigger. No. No, no, no. So what symbol am I putting right here in this box? Less than. All because I multiplied by something that was less than 1. It makes this number smaller. Okay? We did not have to work it out to know that, but I know I wanted to show you guys that because typically in multiplying my numbers get bigger. And I know I would have some friends who looked at that denominator and thought bigger denominator means bigger number. Okay? Don't let those 2 key ideas trick you up. Number 3. I always try and point out, guys, things that I know are tricky, I try and purposely show them to you. So that then when you guys see it, it doesn't happen. 4 3/5. Ooh, I like this one too. Our first 3 were all good ones. Ladies and gentlemen, you should be able to solve it right now. No work needed. Because, let's take a look here. My similarities on both sides is they both have what? They have 4 3/5.
Equal.
Now, this side, I'm multiplying it by 4 over 4. 4 over 1 is the same as 1. If I multiply anything by 1, is that number changing or staying the same? Staying the same. So 4 3/5 times 1 is still 4 3/5. Over here I have 4 3/5. What symbol goes here?
Equal.
Equal to. Very nice. Our first 3 examples were all perfect. And full disclosure, it wasn't even on purpose that Mrs. Bush chose those. It was just a coincidence. I got lucky. Don't tell anybody. Shh. All right, number 4. You guys are going to try this one on your own. Here we go. You got to find a marker. Two and 1/2 times 1 2/3. Our blank box there for our symbol, and then 1 2/3. Fill in this box. What goes there? You guys see? All right, so I have both sides have what in common? 1 2/3. But this side I'm multiplying it by 2 1/2. Multiplying it by 2 1/2 is going to make this number what? It's going to make it what? Bigger, right? Any bigger than, and this side is what? Greater than my other side. Do I need to know how much bigger? No, I don't need to solve this to know how much bigger. Number 5. Solve it. I have some friends who are just sitting, ladies and gentlemen. Sitting is not an option.
That's all you have to know?
Three tallies and 3 cents. Sitting is not an option. Got it. All right, let's take a look here. Both sides have what?
4
4 4/5. But this side, I'm going to multiply it by 3/5. 3/5 is less than, it's less than 1. So what's it going to do to this number? Make it smaller. Any smaller than means that I get what symbol? Less than. It's going to be smaller than 4 4/5 over here. Do we know how much smaller?
No.
Does it matter how much smaller?
No.
No. All right, last one. Number 6. One 2/7 times 5/5. Our blank box for our symbol. 1 2/7. This should be mental math. You should be able to look at it. Fill in your symbol. Both sides have what? 1 2/7, but this side is getting multiplied by 5 5/5, which is the same as 1. When you multiply anything by 1, does it change this number then?
No.
It stays the
Same.
So both sides are
Equal.
Each side then is going to be 1 2/7. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, your math homework is a worksheet that you can either do on paper and then take a picture, or do on Notability and then send it to Schoology. Your choice, okay? But it's a worksheet on Schoology. You can do it by hand in your math notebook and take a screenshot or a picture, or use Notability. Okay, your option. Language. Mrs. Long's class and my class. I printed your packet for you. My e-learning friends, I will always put on Schoology what you need. Yesterday, we talked about, well, we didn't talk about, but you guys learned about poetry a little bit and what poetry is on vocabulary. Raise your hand and tell me, what is poetry? No right or wrong. What is poetry? Bradley?
It's like a long saying.
A long saying.
Is it rhyming words to make a story?
Rhyming words to make a story.
A poem.
A poem.
A form of writing that does not have to follow the rules of physics writing.
A form of writing that doesn't have to follow specific rules. That's been my favorite so far. I know somebody mentioned rhyming. Does poems have to rhyme though?
No.
They don't have to.
Like they can say, but and like you said, it also doesn't have to rhyme, and you don't have to use the things rules of figurative language, and it's like not like almost like a paragraph. But,
Mason.
it's almost like a paragraph, but it's not really a paragraph.
Good. Anybody else have anything else to add? All right, in your packet, turn to page 2, poetry vocab, and I'm going to pull it up here on my screen. Malia, we grab our lights, please. Your poetry vocab is also on Schoology for you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are going to need to learn this poetry vocab. You are going to have a quiz on them. The quiz, I'm going to let you know, will probably be Thursday is what I'm thinking. Okay, we'll play it by ear. I'm thinking Thursday though. So these are your words that you're going to have to know. And I want to open them up a little bit bigger. All right. In alphabetical order, we have, and some of these you've probably heard before with Mrs. Long in figurative language, and they're also used in poetry. So we have an alliteration. This is when we repeat the beginning consonant sounds. So an example, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Whew. Let's see how fast you can say that, everybody. Nice. All right, 3, 2, 1, cut. Very nice. You guys sound really funny. Imagery. Okay, imagery is words that appeal to the reader's senses to paint a picture. So you can see it in your head. As you're reading it, you're visualizing it in your head, okay? So if an author was writing to you about the beach, they used such good imagery that you were able to picture the waves crashing to the rocks. You were able to picture the sand. You were able to picture the bright sun in your eyes, okay? That is your imagery. We have lines and meter. I want you to read those in your head. Lines and meter. Oh, it's just Mrs. Long. I'll ignore her. Don't tell her. I'll call her back in a minute. All right. Lines. Those are the rows of words in a poem. Okay? So this is a line. Okay? A row goes across this way. Okay? A meter, that's a rhythmic structure, and it consists of the number of syllables. And you'll learn more about that a little bit tonight. Mood, the feelings the reader gets from the poem, okay? Just like your current mood that you're in, how you're feeling, okay? Poems give you certain moods. A poet is the author of a poem. Repetition means repeating certain sounds or words. Rhyme is, well, you guys know that. For example, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary. Dreary and weary rhyme, okay? But a very big misconception is that all poems rhyme. They do not. That is just one style of a poem. A speaker is the narrator of the poem. A stanza, that is a paragraph in a poem, okay? We don't call them paragraphs. Poems get their own words. They call them stanzas. A verse is a group of lines in a poem, similar to a song verse that you guys learned with Mrs. Hinchley. Voice is the author's style that the poem is being delivered. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about these often as we go through our poetry unit. You need to know what these are. Then when I say these words, you need to be able to recognize them and know what I'm referring to. Okay? Studying these vocab words. All right? Any questions on your poetry vocab?
No.
Okay, study. There's not many there. Most of them are kind of self-explanatory. Okay? A poet, I know you guys have heard that many times. Rhyming, self-explanatory. Okay, a lot of these are very self-explanatory that I don't think you'll have any issues with. The ones I would study more would probably be meter, and stanza, and verse. I think those three are going to be the three that you're least familiar with that you need to make sure you study. All right? Your homework tonight for our poetry unit is 3 Moby Max assignments. Now, hold on. I know it sounds like, oh my gosh, 3 assignments, that's so much. Each one is only 7 problems. Some of them are like true and false, super short problems, okay? So you only have a total of 21 problems for language, okay? And like I said, they're pretty short questions, okay? Any questions for math or for language and what you guys have today? All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have some work time. Go ahead and get started.